begin by thanking you for being here, and for those of you listening to us across Liberia and across the world. We want to thank you for tuning in to this, what we believe is the last update before the Liberian people can assemble peacefully in their massive numbers on tomorrow at the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex, first from all around the city of Monrovia and its environs, and then assemble at the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex. We have said to you why the Samuel Kayando Sports Complex. This was where President Weah made his many broken promises to the people of this country. It is but fitting that the Liberian people return to that place where jobs were promised and no jobs were created, where opportunities were promised and no opportunity was given to our people, where unity was promised and all that we've reaped in 5 years has been division and even more division, where freedom was promised and all we've seen is continuous fear, threats of violence, and actual violence against peaceful citizens, where security was promised. And even as we speak, Liberians are finding it fearful, frightful, insecure to even walk the streets of their communities. Some as early as after 6 p.m. This is the story of Liberia. We heard that in fact Liberia passed MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation. The government was celebrating all around here, dancing, offering to, in fact, no sound of music. They were still dancing. But now we have heard that Sierra Leone, our next door neighbor, now has a renewed compact. All our Buga dancing was for nothing. We have made no compact. The only thing we got out of Washington, while other presidents were signing agreements, out of Washington we got selfie with the US president. It's all over Facebook. It's everywhere. One picking just told me that morning, the president did that selfie with E, that selfie with pay school fee with, that selfie with care our children in the hospital with, that selfie with a care in the market, that selfie with pour food in the people's stomach when they're hungry. This president does not get it. And that is why tomorrow the Liberian people will come out in their numbers everywhere from across the length and breadth of Montserrat County. We are even getting calls from other counties asking us, well, wait now, that only the people in Monrovia are suffering, that only the people in Monrovia are tired suffering, and we are telling them that that is not the case. That is not the case. And so after the successful rally here in Monrovia, we will look to take this We Are Tired Suffering rally everywhere in the country. Because Liberians everywhere are suffering, everywhere in Liberia. Now I wish to address an unfortunate situation last night. And I see government people dancing, celebrating. A young man who happens to be the driver of the head of the We Are Tired Suffering rally, made away last night with some money intended for the acquisition of ambulances, the purchase of water for our people, and the provision of other logistics required for the successful operation on the day. Now, we regret deeply this incident. This is stealing, and it is unfortunate. But what is also true in our country, which we must not ignore, and that is why we must have the rally tomorrow. And that is why Liberians from all across Monserrato must come out tomorrow. Is because this young man believed himself to see an opportunity out of his suffering by stealing what is not his and stealing what is for many others. This is what the country has become. This is what our value system has become. And young people are seeing this from the bad example of the president. From the president on down. This is so bad that foreign government officials are referring to our country as a kleptocratic one. Kleptocratic, a big term. They just simply mean rogue government, bunch of thieves, stealing government. And so young people see these bad examples and think they too must do the same thing. This is why we are also having this rally. For that young man who decided that stealing other people's money, what was for the good of everyone, he alone should take it and run away with it to end his suffering. We've seen that many young people are returning to drugs, are actually going to do drugs to get out of their suffering. Our young girls are doing things they know to be wrong, but they do it just to get out of the suffering. So last night has not discouraged us. Last night has strengthened us to have this rally on behalf of that young man who stole and on behalf of every Liberian young people who feel stealing is their only way out. That's not the only way out. This rally tomorrow is for the mother of that young man who is probably crying now with regret that her son is being known everywhere as a rogue. This is what this country has become. We're now being forced to act as if we must distrust each other. We cannot trust each other anymore. And the government people celebrating it all around as if this is supposed to discourage us. Well, you are damn wrong. We are as encouraged as on the first day when we announced this rally, and you will see more people because of that. Don't underestimate the Liberian people. Some are joking with this. You can joke you can laugh, but this is the kind of society that you have brought. This is the kind of leadership you are giving our people. This is the bad example that you are giving our people. And you think it would discourage anybody here? Just look around this table, look at this room. If you know the number of calls we have received, the promises to turn out, laugh all you want. You will see tomorrow if the Liberian people will not turn out. And there will be water provided for the people. And there will be ambulances provided for the people. And all the logistical things that unfortunately this young man think he could have made his own personal life better by stealing. All will be provided tomorrow for the Liberian people. This is for the Liberian people. This is by the Liberian people. And it will happen successfully by the Liberian people on tomorrow. Nothing will stop it. On yesterday, we led a delegation to meet with the Inspector General of Police and his team. We have been promised police protection, and we believe it because they have a duty to do it. And we will trust that they will fulfill that duty. And so tomorrow, Liberians, you have nothing to fear. No one to fear. Anything you hear about the rally tomorrow, the only thing you know is that there is the rally tomorrow and nothing and no one can stop it. We'll be at the SKD. I have received all kinds of threats. I will be there, and I will be there very early. Some people are propagandizing and talking all kinds of stuff. That Mr. Cummings is out of the country and he will not be there. Well, you're wrong. Mr. Alexander Cummings does not lead from behind. Not only will he be there tomorrow leading from the front, but he will be here today to speak to you about the rally tomorrow. And before he does that, many ordinary Liberian citizens who are committed to the rally tomorrow will also come and say to you why they will be there, why they must be there. Finally, let me say to you before I invite them. There are only two sides. One side is brave enough to even be publicly celebrating stealing, thinking it can undermine the rally. You know, there's a song I like very, one of my favorite songs. Harry Melvin and the Blues. No, McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now. Nothing can stop us now. The Liberian people are on the move. Their government will be wise to listen to the people. We know of all your little games. We know of your plan to infiltrate peaceful citizens and create problems as if you're asking for. Let's be clear. Nobody is being paid to attend the rally tomorrow. And nobody will be paid to attend the rally tomorrow. This is again a rally of Liberians for Liberians and by Liberians. People are tired. But we don't want them to give up. Because no matter how long the night is, day will break. And this rally is the beginning of that journey to the daybreak. Liberians will be heard. Even this government will not stop them from being heard. Your propaganda, your threats, your threat of violence, your intimidation, your lies will not stop the rally. Ain't no stopping us now. You're too late. You have 5 years to stop the Liberian people from getting tired with suffering. You have 5 years. You failed the people. Ain't no stopping us now. Let me end by saying this. There are only 2 sides to this conflict. There are only 2 sides to the rally tomorrow. There are only 2 sides be facing the country. All of us must choose. There is the side of the failed and disappointing government. And there is the side of the people that are running out of hope. Liberians, politicians, political leaders, aspirants, religious leaders, every Liberian and leader must choose tomorrow. You must choose your side. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'm honored to introduce to you Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, who many have said was not even in the country. Some are beginning to say, you are second seeing here vis-a-vis. Tomorrow, traditional leaders, political leaders, religious leaders, aspirants, community leaders, youth leaders, women groups leaders, market women leaders, health worker association leaders, teachers leaders, in fact, security people leaders. You must choose tomorrow whether you will stand with the disappointing, frustrated, hopeless, suffering people of Liberia, or you will stand with those responsible for their suffering, which is the government that has failed them. You must choose. You members of the press must choose. We have heard all kinds of commentaries, all kinds of lies from the government, by sympathizers of the government, apologists of the government. I've heard many of my own friends who and I were engaged in the struggle in this country for many years. Some of them finding all kinds of excuses, telling us that our struggle was right yesterday, our struggle is right today, but that we must find a way out of fear to make sure the Liberian people don't get to speak to the government. But I say to all of my friends who call themselves progressive, if 10 months to the election you are scared, stay scared of what this government will do. If the people turn out to peacefully speak to the government, then you do not deserve to call yourself a progressive. If you know the cause is just and right, and you're scared because of what you're getting and for your own little safety, that you want to deny ordinary Liberians from speaking truth to power to their government, then you do not deserve to call yourself a progressive. Tomorrow is for the people of Liberia. The CPP has and will provide the decent, secure platform for the people of Liberia to speak to their government. Tomorrow is about giving the people of Liberia hope that things don't always have to be this way. Those who want to connive with the government, continue, you can connive with them. Those who are scared, you can continue to trade your freedom for fear. But the CPP is ready. We are ready. The Liberian people are ready. If you smart, you will join the Liberian people. Because this government is owned by the Liberian people. And the Liberian people have a right to speak to them whenever they want to. 1 day before election, 1 day after election, 10 months before election. It is the right of the people, and that right will not be compromised out of fear. We go into the escape. And maybe some of them said how that became influenced some kind of way. To think by that begin stealing, then you will stop us. Ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no stopping the Liberian people now. So all of us, I will end by saying, choose tomorrow. If you stay home, you are on the side of the government that has disappointed our people and made too many of our people to continue to be poor by their failed policies and corrupt behavior. If you turn out tomorrow, you are standing with the people, giving them renewed hope in a better future, in a better day tomorrow. That's the choices we must make tomorrow. Stay home before the government. And if you call yourself opposition leader and you can't stand for the people, when the people need you to stand for them, woe unto you. The people will judge you on that day. Your judgment not too far. You want to lead people and you are afraid of standing for them. You say the cause is just, but you worry who will get the credit. You say you got moral rectitude, but your morality is embellished in fear of the government. No courage. What is moral rectitude if you don't have moral courage? You know, Mr. Cummings is here. So today we will take a few of ordinary Liberian citizens. But I want to lift your spirit, Liberians everywhere. You have absolutely nothing to fear tomorrow. Nobody will do anything to you. And in fact, even if some of you, they will identify you and fire you tomorrow, how much you making in the first place anyway? I assure you it will just be for a few months. If they identify you and fire you, it will be for a few months because they themselves are about to be fired by the people. Stand with the government and you will be fired by the people. Stand with the people and you will stand tall and you will endure longer and you will benefit more. Because the people will always prevail. God bless you. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Louis Brown. Before I call on the national chairman of the collaborative political parties, we want to tell members of the press and our listening audience out there through Radio Land that there's a fake press release that has been put out there by our detractors, our opposition, by the government, with the quote-unquote signature of the Deputy Secretary General and the steering committee head of this all-important rally on Romantic Sekula. That press release is fake. and we will not get distracted by it. Our rally holds, and it will be well attended tomorrow by the people of Liberia. So we just thought to to inform you about that. With that being said, we will now call onto the podium the well distinguished, the biggest chairman of all chairmen, Honorable Musa Hassan Benedict.
Thank you, Uncle Brown. Let me use this time to welcome the next president of the Republic of Liberia. ABC. At this time, I think talking about what the government is doing wrong is talking yourself out. I think it's about Liberians looking up to who is providing an alternative to stop the wrongs that are going on. And for that, Mr. Cummings, we want to say thank you for being the leader of this rally and being the idea behind this rally. The CPP, being the organizer of this rally, is led by Alexander B. Cummings. We welcome everyone to come, but we are very clear who we are and who is our leader. And we ain't going around looking for a leader. We're just going around asking patriotic Liberians to join us if you wish to. And by the way, we have enough partisans to get out the people we need to get out to. At this time, when the country needs its leaders, it is sad that we even have to call on people to join us. You have to be blind not to join this rally. You have to be benefiting from what is going on not to join this rally. And at this time also, I just want to call on the media to understand from your own deduction that the government is afraid of the rally. If $1 million is stolen from us, that's not their money, that's our money. So what? What is the problem? Why are you writing fake letters? You can't even put your acts together. You call him Martin Kola, Secretary General of CPP. By the way, Martin Kola is not the Secretary General of CPP. I lost your 2 A's. So that letter alone fails itself. And that tells you the level of desperation. So, stealing has not been inspired by the kind of governance we have. So what is the surprise about people stealing here? There's stuff going on everywhere. The government is the cheerleader of stealing. So how can if somebody come and out of bad faith takes away what does not belong to them? How does that kill our spirit? In fact, that reinvigorates us, because that's the change we want to bring. We want people to feel that what is not yours is not yours. And that the fact that you have the opportunity to get close to a certain money or asset, it doesn't make it yours. There's stealing going on everywhere. You gave a driver your money to go buy fuel, he takes some. What is the surprise today that you want to make it appear as though that will bring an end to our rally? No, we have sufficient resources to make the rally happen. If we let you can see our car, we will walk to go there. But the main point I want to send out there, first, to give a special thank you to the Minister of Justice. He has been very cooperative. He has been responsive to us. And surprisingly, the Liberia National Police as well. They too have been cooperative. The Ministry of Youth and Sport has not been, but I think there is a state of confusion in that ministry, so I can't blame them. From the moment they took the money from us to the moment they were told that they were not supposed to take it, definitely they have never been up to task. However, we want to use this time to ask our partisans and well-wishers and Liberians who believe that this is the time to go and show up for this rally. Be calm. We have made sure that there will be no detractors. Our youth wing, under the leadership of Odissimo James and the chairperson of the CPP, ANC youth wing, are on full alert. They will help the security forces. They will be properly identified, and we will make sure that no one will disturb us. And we want our people to feel free. Everything is in place to make sure that this rally takes place. This rally is not, and by the way, we met Monday. Honorable Brian and I met with the ECOWAS ambassador and show her that this rally is going to be peaceful, and they have also appreciated that. They've gotten to the police, and the police have given them the same assurances. Our being here today is to tell you, first, to welcome our standard bearer, the leader of this rally, Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, the standard bearer of the CPP, and to tell you that the fact that we welcome other people doesn't mean that we are not aware that this is our rally led by our leader. And we're looking for no leader to hear our. We have our leader. He's showing leadership. There's a vacuum in this country right now, both at the government level, and if opposition want to follow that, the CPP is not going to do that. And that's why we have decided that we will take advantage of our constitutional right. We'll go out there, we'll be very peaceful, and we ask the press to cover this in the best way you can. What you report out there is very important. Everything is in place. Honorable Brown has assured me so, and what I see tells me that indeed everything is in place. The noise about who is not going to the CPP rally, you know, I don't even understand us anymore. I'm the chairman of the CPP. The problem is, fortunately for me, I've ran a campaign before. And for your information, during an election period, when you run a campaign, you give the campaign the opportunity to run their campaign under the leadership of the standard bearer. That doesn't mean that I am not part of this rally. I have organized, I've played all my part based on every request that the campaign has made to me to play. I've made representation to the international community. I've made representation to the Office of the Minister of Justice. And even as early as this morning, I've had meetings with international partners about the security of this meeting tomorrow. And I'm going to be there. And Chairman Nete and I will lead a brigade of the gallant youth wing to play. And if you want to join us, you can come to the SKD Boulevard and you will see what we have to offer as we await our standard bearer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chairman. So there you have it. The naysayers who've been, speculating that Mr. Chairman will not be at the rally, he has said it himself, and he will be at the rally tomorrow. So before we take our stand-up bearer, Mr. Cummins, look, this rally will be fully and well attended by the people of Liberia.